Our next guest is one of President Trump's favorite CEOs. And don't take my word for it.
Jensen, would you come up and say a few words? This is a smart cookie.
Jensen, will you stand up? What a job. What a job you've done. Man.
I'm looking at you guys. You're taking over the world, Jensen. I don't know what you're doing here.
Well, now, Jensen Huang, welcome to the Sunday Briefing. Honor to have you here.
It's great to be here, Peter.
So, when President Trump first announced tariffs earlier this year, your company was hit pretty hard. On Friday, though, you announced that you're going to start making the wafers for AI chips in the United States. Can you tell us more about what your plan is?
Yeah, this last week was a historic week. We manufactured the most advanced AI chips in the world, in the most advanced fab in the world, here in America for the first time. All of this started with President Trump wanting to re-industrialize the United States. His tariffs was a pressing agent in making this possible at the speed that we're doing. And now, shortly after less than a year, we're now manufacturing the most advanced chips for AI here in the United States. This is just the beginning of it. With the partnership of the supply chain in Taiwan, TSMC is an incredible partner, a strategic partner for the United States in bringing manufacturing of the most critical sector of technology here to the United States. This is just the starting point, where after that, with Foxconn, Amkor, SPIL, Wistron, so many of our other partners, we're going to bring the entire supply chain of building AI infrastructure back here in the United States. By the end of the next 3 or 4 years, we'll probably manufacture, we're on target to manufacture about $500 billion of AI supercomputing technology to be installed here in the United States.
And you were in Arizona at the plant on Friday. You said there that this is the single most important chip being produced in America. What does it do that makes you say that?
Well, NVIDIA is at the epicenter. We're the engine of the largest industrial revolution in human history. The last ones were steam engine, electricity, information technology, and now we're creating artificial intelligence. Digital intelligence that augments all of the things that we do. It's going to affect every single industry. There's not one industry that's not affected by intelligence, of course. And so this is going to revolutionize every single industry. We're at the beginning of that industrial revolution. We've manufactured now several $100 billion of this chip called Blackwell. You apply electricity to it, it processes information, and what comes out of it is digital intelligence. It's a kind of a miracle thing. And it's hard to understand, kind of like electricity back in the old days, but soon AI will be everywhere in the world, and it's going to be used by every company, it'll be used by every industry. And this Blackwell chip is the engine of that artificial intelligence. And so we're super excited that we're manufacturing that for the very first time here in America.
In the last 3 years or so, and we can put this up on the screen, your company's stock is up 1,500% because of the surge in AI demand. Is that sustainable, or are we in an AI bubble?
We're actually at the beginning of this industrial revolution. The way to think about AI is that in order for AI to be produced, you need a factory. That factory takes energy. This is one of the most important things that President Trump did for the technology industry here in the United States, is to recognize that energy is necessary for this industry to grow. President Trump's pro-energy initiatives has made it possible for us to sustain our growth. You take the energy, you put it into these AI factories, and it produces digital intelligence. We're about a couple of $100 billion into this journey. We have trillions of dollars of AI infrastructure to build throughout the next decade. And so this is just in the very, very beginning part of that journey.
We know that AI, and you were just talking about this, it is going to replace millions of people's jobs, basically, in the next couple of years. But you now are saying that the next generation of U.S. millionaires are going to be plumbers and electricians. We have a lot of plumbers and electricians watching right now. Why is it that you say that they are going to become millionaires?
Well, we're going to have to build these magnificent factories. magnificent factories for chips, for packaging, for these AI supercomputers, but also for these factories that are producing digital intelligence. All of these factories requires extraordinary skilled craft. This is something that our country needs to really celebrate. That the skilled craft professions are severely under-resourced. We just don't have nearly enough of them. Plumbers, electricians, technicians, networking technicians, building out these incredible factories. We need a lot of them, hundreds of thousands of them, maybe even millions of them. And so we're at the beginning of this new industrial revolution, and any industrial revolution requires skilled craft. And I really appreciate the work that was done in Arizona. In fact, if you look at Arizona, in just a very short period of time, we went from groundbreaking to standing up this incredible advanced fab with TSMC, and all of the professionals and all the workers in Arizona, they came together to build our first AI chip here in America. So I really appreciate all the effort they put into it. They worked around the clock. It's incredible what they've done.
And the last thing before we let you go, NVIDIA used to have 95% market share in China. Now it's down to 0. President Trump is going to talk to Xi next week. He might be watching right now. Do you want him to plug the chips, the new chips?
Well, President Trump's AI action plan, he made it an imperative that this is our Apollo moment, that AI is too important a technology for America not to lead. And so his AI action plan is about American leadership of this critical future, this critical technology. And so the question is, what do we want America's position in the world with respect to this AI technology long term? If we would like to lead the world and have the world build on top of the American tech stack, or would we rather not have that? And so if you go forward in time and you say, listen, we would like the world, 90% of the world's AI to be built on the American tech stack, then the policies should reflect that. At the moment, we are banned from China, and so we banned ourselves first, and then we're now banned from China. We went from 95% market share to 0 market share in about 40% of the world's AI market. And so obviously, if our goal is to have 90% of the world build on the American tech stack someday, we're off to a relatively poor start. President Trump understands this. President Trump wants us to win. He also understands that having the richest nation in the world also allows us to solve a lot of domestic problems. It allows us to solve domestic problems, ensure and enhance our national security, but it starts with having a really rich nation. And so I think American technology leadership is really critical to this country. AI leadership is critical. President Trump's AI action plan is designed to ensure that happens. And so I'm looking forward to getting back into the global market so that we can compete for American leadership.
That was fascinating. Thank you very much, Jensen Huang. We hope to have you back sometime.
Hey, it's Will Cain. Click here to subscribe to the Fox News channel on YouTube. It's the best way to get our latest interviews and highlights. And click to subscribe to the Will Cain podcast for full episodes right now.